Hello. There are two things which are always operating in our life. One is a set of motivators which are always driving you to achieve. Whatever you have accomplished, it's only because there are motivators which are constantly working for you. At the same time, there are some silent demotivators which are operating. You may not even be aware of them, but they are limiting your possibilities. Just ask yourself a question. Do you believe that there is much more potential inside you than perhaps you are currently using? If you find the answer as yes, there is something which is stopping you from inside, which you need to become aware of and remove it from your system. That's what I'm going to discuss and also share with you how is it that you can start removing them. The first one is fear of losing our security. And where does this sense of security come from? Primarily three sources: place, people, and profession. Let us discuss them a little more in detail. Place, from the city that you are staying in, to the neighborhood that you have chosen to live in, to the house that you are in right now. All of these give you a sense of security. And the moment there is a thought of change in any of them, there is some insecurity that pops up from inside and may be stopping you from taking a decision. That precisely is the reason that people continue to be at the same place for years together, even though some moves here and there would have helped them to take their lives to next higher level much earlier, much faster. The second is people. Similar to the place, people who are around you today, your family, your neighbors, your professional colleagues, they also give you a sense of security. And for whatever reason, if there is a question of change in any of them, again, there is an insecurity that comes up and some decision may get affected just because of that. The third one is profession. You must have chosen your current profession for some very good reasons. However, have you ever thought if you had chosen a profession which is closer to your heart, which is closer to your talents and capabilities, things could have been different monetarily as well as in terms of fulfillment and accomplishments that you get. But what happens is once we get into a job, we continue to stay with it just because there is security in that. It may be just a false sense of security. I've seen people leaving their very safe and secure jobs early on in their careers just because they found something which was closer to their hearts. That is what I'm asking you to inquire from yourself. Is this the profession that you are very happy with, or some other possibility is also there? Just explore that. Second one is fear of failure. What is this fear of failure? Fear of failure may be from the professional front or it may be from personal experiences. Whenever there is a chance of taking a decision, starting something new, taking an initiative, fear of failure stops us even before we take the first step. And since we are not taking that step, obviously we are not experiencing anything new, anything different. And unless you do anything new, can you create new experiences? Obviously, it is not possible. You just have to understand that failure is nothing else but a set of consequences that you are experiencing, which are based on certain decisions, certain actions that you may have taken because of whatever your understanding was at that particular point of time. And let me also mention here, every consequence that you face can be dealt with. Every consequence that you face can be dealt with, can be handled. You just have to see it just as a consequence. Another dimension that comes in terms of fear of failure is that when you experience a setback, that is not really the problem many times. The bigger problem is, what will people think about me? We start thinking from the context of the world around us rather than just treating it as an experience, learning the lessons from that, and then continuing to take further steps ahead. Ask yourself, is there a fear of failure which may be stopping you from greater experiences of life? The third one is self-doubt. If this question is asked to many people as to who is your biggest critic, the probable answer that is likely to come in huge numbers is the person himself or herself is the biggest critic. And as long as that stays, it's not going to help you to grow. It's true that we are all born with certain talents, gifts, and capabilities which can all be refined and sharpened over a period of time by continuous learning. But as long as you continue to doubt yourself, it's not going to help you to take affirmative actions. And by affirmative actions, I mean taking actions with confidence. That is why you need to start believing in yourself as to whosoever you are today is going to help you to take steps to make your life better than what it is, personally as well as professionally. This self-doubt comes from the messages that we may have received from the past. However, the good news is each one of these messages can be eliminated by constant work on yourself. When you work on yourself through affirmations or constant reminder of your strengths and achievements, that is when that self-doubt starts eliminating. But as I said just a little while back, it's a work which needs to be done and only you can do that. The last one is pain of change. Every process of change involves some pain and you will have to embrace it to experience anything new. Unless you are ready to leave your old self, how will you ever be able to experience your new self and new possibilities? That is why you need to go through that process of change. You must have heard that story of caterpillar to butterfly. Unless the caterpillar goes through the process of change, how will the butterfly emerge? The same is true for you. The beauty that is lying inside you, the potential that you are holding inside you, how will that come up unless you are ready to go through the process of change? You have to lose your old self to experience your new self, which is far better than the previous self. So continue to master the process of change, continue to go through the process of change, which may give you some discomfort, but the possibility is only new and better things will emerge from there. So ask yourself these 4 demotivators that I talked about. First one was fear of losing our security. Are you ready to embrace your insecurity, the feeling of insecurity, and create something better for yourself? Fear of failure, taking steps, learning lessons from whatever happens. Self-doubt, start talking to yourself as your best friend. And the last one is going through the pain of change. As you eliminate these demotivators from your life, the only thing that you can experience is your life experiences at a much higher level than you must have experienced earlier. I wish you all the best. I'll meet you in my next video. Stay safe, stay healthy.